Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in again. A couple of housekeeping rules. First thing, my son has not been feeling the best these last few days. That's why I feel like this video has been a little delayed on when I actually wanted to upload it. But I actually have him in a room with me today because he's not doing the best of sleeping because his nose is completely stuffed up. And if you have bad allergies, then you understand that trying to sleep with a stuffy nose is just not the thing. So I do apologize for any talking you may hear in the background. That's just my son, having at it. Also, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, for the YouTube algorithm thing. I really want to get my content out there, but I really wanted just to share the messages I share with you every day so that way I can educate more people and help everybody out in their financial aspect of their lives. I've been wanting to make this video for the longest because just recently I actually sat down and wrote out these priorities so that way I can really focus on and nail down, okay, what exactly is my focus over what's governing my life for these next few years. So first priority is getting rid of this $66,000 that we have currently in debt. So that's our 2 student loans between me and my wife and currently my wife's car. So from what we had before, if you've seen any of our previous videos, I discussed about the amount that we had with our student loans, my approach to paying those off, and then how earlier this year we paid off $16,000 worth of our student loans. So we've been making tremendous strides, and I want to continuously push that. So that's been number one on my agenda. And I did some numbers yesterday, and I was calculating it out and like, okay, how long would it realistically take us to pay off the $66,000 in debt? So kind of taking a look at everything, playing around with the finances, being realistic with the amount of money we spend per month, and taking a look into our refunds that we'll be getting or a few bonuses that we may be getting at the beginning of the year. We're really calculating it out to be around 3 years. So realistically, we're looking at like about 3 years. So to us, that's pretty great because within the 3 years time, our daughter will be going to be 6 or 7 and our son will be hitting by 3 or 4. So that's around the time they're starting to get into school and more extracurricular activities. So if we can open up that amount of money of how much we're paying on our debt per month, it's really going to help us out. So the very first priority is paying off that $66,000 of our debt. Once from there, we're really taking full control of our finances because we're opening up a lot of money per month. So the second priority here is what I like to call the financial foundation. This is where I start to build like the ground level finances that's going to set us up for our future, for retirement, for our children's future. And what that's going to entail is adding more to my retirement. So currently I only contribute 2% of my income into our retirement, but I'm going to, once I pay off this debt, I'm going to start contributing to the max of 8%, so that way I get the full contributions for my employer to help add to our retirement. By making this change from 2 to 8%, we're going to be about over $1.5 million in our retirement saved, which for me and my wife should be a good amount to last us for at least upwards of 15 to 20 years. So on top of that, I also want to start adding more money into my investments. I've been putting that off because I've been focusing all our money into paying off our debt. But now once we're debt free, we're really going to be driving hard into paying off our debt, which I currently invest in Fundrise, and my other investment account is in Betterment. So I'm going to start contributing around $200 a month into both of those, possibly more depending on how our finances and stuff work out. If we're able to pay off more things quicker and if bonuses and refunds and other additional side hustles work out, we'll obviously be contributing more. But from the numbers I was using my base salary to pay for a lot of this. So contributing that additional $200 to each one of those accounts, we can, in a 10 to 15 year time frame, I like to base this about when my children may be starting college. So I'm assuming around when they're around like 18 years old. So by the time we're debt free, my daughter, like I said, would be about 6. So that's about 12 years to when she'll be heading up to college. So $400 into our investments over the span of 12 years, we're gonna look between around upwards of $100,000 in just investment, as long as the stock market just doesn't crash. But I only focus my investment in SP 500 stocks, so I don't really dabble in too many in the individual type of stocks and everything. So also with the financial foundation, it's starting to set aside our emergency fund, our emergency savings. We currently have one already, but now we're going to start investing into more to getting our 3 to 6 month our 3 to 6 month emergency savings set aside. So with the amount we spend we spend around like $3,500 a month on our expenses. So calculating that out for the future. And this 3,500 is also including our student loans and our debt that we currently have, but it will obviously lower, but I like to keep the higher end value so that way we're more than enough covered. So with about $3,500 a month that we spend, we're going to need about $21,000 to have about 6 months saved. So that is my second priority. First priority being paying off debt. Second priority being setting that financial foundation that's going to set me and my family up for the future. Now, the third priority is when we start to get into the real fun. So the third priority on my list is when we start to look into our home, a house that we want to build or we want to move into. So here I didn't really do too much in depth, but we know that with the homes that we were looking to before last year and the previous years before we started having children, it's obviously different than what we have now that we have 2 children that are going to be growing. And then within the next 3 to 5 year time span, as we're paying off our debt and setting up our financial foundation, we're obviously going to be in need a different living arrangement and a lot different amenities or necessities within our home. We know that we're going to ensure putting down 20% onto our home. So this is, for an example, for a $300,000 home, we're going to need about $60K set aside to put down that 20%, or $400,000 loan, $80K, $500,000 house, $100K. Right? So obviously we're not trying to look for the most expensive house to put down, because we really want to make sure that we're getting the necessities that we need, but we're not locking ourselves into a long-term deal that's going to pretty much set us up for failure. You know, I'm more financially literate than that, and I'm trying to teach you as well, so that way you don't fall into the trap or the holes that you may see out there, just because that's kind of how our society works. So the next part of our third priority list is also my children's college fund. So my idea here is that the investments that we're putting into in the second priority will, over the course of the next 15, or I guess the next 12 to 15 years, that will cover what's needed for my children's schooling. So with the additional amount of time they might spend in school, having that money sit there and have it double up and grow up on itself, we should have enough money within our investments to put aside, we should have enough money in our investments to take out to pay for their college fund. So I mentioned that we're probably just only putting in $400. So if you're really great with the investment calculator, you can calculate that out and see how much we may have. You're like, okay, what college is paying for that much? But I'm not pushing my children to go to college. That's more on like what they decide to do for themselves. I'm going to educate them throughout their lives so that way they truly understand, isn't college really needed for what you want to do with your life? Okay, for a lot of us, it may not be. Thank you for tuning in for this video. Those are the 3 priorities that's currently governing my life. And as I start to check those off the list, obviously my priorities will be updated more and start to have different priorities come up in the future. But as right now, those are the 3 priorities that are governing my life as of right now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with a friend, and you have a great day. Ciao. He says bye too. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like the video, and also subscribe to the channel. That way, so YouTube can push out more of this type of content, so I can educate more people on the basic necessities of how you can take full control of your financial life.